If anybody is like racking their brains out there trying to come up with an idea, I had the problem of having too many ideas for Hot Mess. And all that I really had to do was focus in on the Paul Simon song Kodachrome, because the beginning of the first verse is when I think back to all the crap I learned in high school. And high school was a huge hot mess time for me personally. There's all kinds of stuff. But when you pair that with the second verse, if you took all the girls I knew when I was single, put those together, you got a hot mess perfect situation. So I'm going to tell you about one of those specifically from when I was in high school. Now back when I was in high school and we didn't really have the internet. We had internet bulletin board systems where your computer would use a 2600 baud modem to connect with somebody else's computer. And like 5 to 10 people could be on that computer at the same time, and you could talk with them. That was the closest thing we had to the internet. So there's no internet dating. If you wanted to date somebody you didn't already know, you had to get your friends to set you up on dates. So this is about one of those times when a friend had said, hey, I know somebody that you should date. And we talked a little bit on this internet bulletin board system. We were all set up, we were going to meet at a coffee shop. And then she sent me a message and said, hey, I'm really nervous. Is it okay if we do a double date? Okay, sure. So they agreed to come and pick me up, and then we were going to go to the coffee shop. And they pulled up, and I'm getting in this car with people that I don't know whatsoever. And my date's sitting in the back seat, and there's 2 people in the front seat. And I go to get in the back seat, and my foot kind of slips as I'm stepping into the car. And it's because there's like a second floor on the back seat of beer bottles. And I size up the driver and look down. He's like, oh man, those aren't from today. I'm like, okay. Now at this point, I am underage, and they all are too. So we get in the car and we start driving to the coffee shop, at which point they start trying to convince me that we shouldn't go to the coffee shop. We should go to a friend's party. And by they, I mean the people in the front seat who are not my date, because my date is sitting next to me just like looking straight forward, not making any eye contact, not saying anything to me. I'm like, I don't know, I don't really want to go to the party, I just want to like get to know her, can we go to the coffee shop? And we drove around town, them trying to convince me to go to this party, me trying to convince them to go to the coffee shop. We finally go to the coffee shop where she continues to say just about nothing. So they finally drive me home and we shake hands goodnight. And I thought that was the end. So fast forward, it's about 3 months later, summertime, I'm out washing my car when this car screeches up, different car, and this girl who had sat next to me saying almost nothing gets out of the car, she'd been driving, runs up, looks at me, she's crying, just tears streaming down her face, shoves this box into my hand, and runs back to her car and squeals away. And the box was closed and taped shut. And the first thing that I did was check and see if it was ticking. And let it sit outside for a day or 2. And I finally got the nerve to open up this box. And inside I found a number of mixtapes, as well as a journal that she had written in every day since that date, expressing her innermost feelings and how we were so perfect for each other, and she couldn't understand why I hadn't called her. The mixtape, all those mixtapes were the songs that, you know, she was bearing her soul to me with, songs by Danzig and Henry Rollins. So I do not still have the tapes, and I also, my memory is not perfect, and I do not remember which one of my friends set me up on that date. But if you're seeing this on Facebook and it was you, don't tell me because I will unfriend you.